Morning, fowl players. It's April 13th, 2024. Just a beautiful, cool, sunny April morning here in central North Carolina. I'm standing in the Big Hole, which if you've been following along, you know this is where we planted rice last year. And it did really well, but we're not super productive. Scott, Nathan, and I had a really fun morning one day in here, probably in January, where we shot some wood ducks. But overall, not a lot of ducks. And I was discouraged. However, as I think back, kind of everybody had a bad season last year. Unseasonably warm. We've been keeping weather data, specifically temperature data, for, I believe, and I'm quoting Dr. Mike Schumer of the Foul Weather Podcast. If you don't listen to that guy, you need to. He is awesome. But anyway, what Dr. Schumer says is we've been keeping weather data for like 129 years. This past winter was the third warmest winter on record. Think about that. We've been keeping temperature data longer than any of us have been alive, and it was the third warmest winter. So, as a lot of folks know, ducks stayed north this year. If they don't have to migrate, they ain't gonna do it. So we did not have a great season here. Saw a few ducks. Didn't shoot any mallards again this year, but got real close a couple times. Day before the season ended, Nate and I sat right over there, and two locked up on us here, circled over us. If they'd made one more pass, they'd have come in, but they didn't do it. Anywho, that's neither here nor there. What are we here for today? We are here for what I've been talking about forever, is stump removal. Couldn't see much of this when it was flooded, like that stump would have been underwater. All of this little stubby stuff. And of course the large ones where I cut down trees. Those need to go away. We're not going to get it all done today. My buddy Jim, who you've seen before, he and his son Connor and I hunted in the back early part of the season last year and shot a couple wood ducks, had a lot of fun in the rain. But we need to take these stumps out. I don't think they'll burn. The soil is too wet, so I'm sure once you get below the surface, the roots are going to be wet. But I want to cut them off as much as I can for a couple of reasons. One, I trip over them. And then secondly, we got old Mr. Kawasaki back here. And as you saw last year, we pulled the little disc through here, and I couldn't get it everywhere just because of all the roots. So I want to try to be able to pull the disc through more of this area. So today we're going to start removing stumps. You can see all along here, brush that I've cut and just laid along the edges over the last couple of years. There's a pile back there. There's several piles over on this side. We're gonna pull those out. I said burn. It's really windy. I have to give that some thought. We'll at the very least pull them out into a burn pile in the center if we chicken out and don't want to burn them today. I may take this tree down today. I want to get it down before it gets too leafy. But you can already kind of tell that it's drier underneath this thing. Plus it shades it. So nothing grows underneath it. It's kind of in the way. Eventually we'll take trees out over here all along the side. I may get this weird one right back here. This kind of one that comes at an angle. I may take him down today and just leave him laying there. Just because he's kind of in the way. My goal here with all of this is to open up the hole as much as I can. That's what I've been doing over the last 3 years. And I think it has helped. What I noticed when we hunted early over in the bean hole in my blind last season is that seemed like the ducks flew lower. I've opened up this space. Seems like the ducks are getting lower. That seems to be the case here too. They're coming down. They're getting used to this. I'm sure those of you that have more experience with this than I do know. Hold on just a second. Phone's ringing. All right, that was Jim calling, let me know he's here. So, what was I saying? Oh, we're trying to open it up. The ducks were flying lower. The ducks did come in here a couple times. A couple times when we were hunting back there, the ducks came here. Whatever, that's duck hunting. So, I'm trying to push it back. More water from the sky. More space for the ducks to land. And I know, they don't need much space. Also, the more I clear, the more I push back, the more dirt I have, the more food I can plant. And that's probably one of the biggest priorities, is pushing this back. So we took it back a bunch last year. We're going to take it back. We can't go too much farther just because we can't really hold any more water in here without doing like major machinery work, which I don't see that being in the cards. And really, you don't want the majority of your hole to be super deep. Knee deep is probably the absolute deepest that you want when you're looking at a food source for ducks. Even shallower. We don't really get teal in here. We can't hunt the early September teal season as part of North Carolina. So that's never a player for us. We have maybe seen a few green wings occasionally. We've never shot one. And that's like, were those teal kind of thing? And they'll feed in 2 or 3 inches of water. So we're really just looking at, you know, shin deep is all this needs to be. So that's one reason why we can't flood it immensely anyway. So anyway, Jim's coming up. We're gonna get some chainsaw work going here. And that's always fun on an old man's back. And I'll kind of show you some progress as we go, see what it looks like. So stick with us. We are getting ready for duck season right now. That's Jim, and he is a steely-eyed duck assassin. Whew, we're tired. Jim looks tired. As you can see, we got some brush burnt. I don't know how much it shows up. Jim busted his butt pretty good and got some of these big stumps cut down. Obviously, he took this big tree down that's been shading out the area and soaking up water. But we cleared back in there some, pulled the brush out, did about all two old men can do in 4 hours. But we got a good start. We'll be back in here more. Like I said, we got June 1st is when I plan to plant. And I mentioned before, I'm not gonna do rice. I'm gonna do Chihuahua millet. We'll be talking about that as the time comes, but it's a different kind of millet. Stalk's a little stronger, it doesn't fall over and rot as easy as Jap millet does, but it takes 120 days to grow. So June 1st is our target date for planting. And that's the outlet. So we got 2 big trees taken down, open this up more, get more sunlight, more resources to grow in plants, less to grow in trees. So that's it. We're tired. Luckily it's not hot today, but we'll get back out here again. We're even talking about maybe renting a big stump grinder and just doing it the easy man's way. So I'm in favor of that. But that's it. Just a little quick look at what we're doing. Keep you guys updated on as we progress. It'll be duck season before you know it, right? So thanks for joining. As always, you know me, I'm Bruce. That's Jim, the steely-eyed duck assassin. And you're watching Foul Play Outdoors.